Are twins creepy? Let's test that. Here's a sweet-looking girl in a white dress. Now, let's give her a sister, an identical twin. Change the background, cue the sound effect, and suddenly she's not so sweet anymore. If you're thinking, hey, that's cheating, any painting looks creepy with those effects, you're right. But twins hit different. Even without the flicker or the music, seeing two faces that are exactly the same just does something to the brain. It's not the editing that's unsettling, it's the sameness. They're rare, just 3 or 4 out of every 1,000 births. But you would know it from how often they show up in stories, myths, and movies. And that's part of the fascination, isn't it? Two faces in perfect sync short-circuit the brain a little. So maybe the question isn't why twins are creepy, but why we think they are. Psychologists say our brains are picky. Like, really picky. They're built to spot tiny imperfections, the little quirks that make every face unique. A bit of symmetry? Beautiful. But too much? The system glitches. There's even a name for it. The Uncanny. That weird skin prickle feeling when something familiar looks just a little too perfect. You see, we're wired to look for individuality. The blink, the twitch, the flaw that says, this is real. Take that away, and suddenly, sameness feels wrong. It's like walking into a store and seeing mannequins that look a little too alive, or those AI-generated faces that are flawless, but somehow off. Almost human, but not quite. And our brains catch it even before we know why. And filmmakers? They've known this for ages. The most haunting image in pop culture isn't a demon or a ghost. It's a pair of matching children. Meet the Grady twins. Practically horror royalty. And here's a fun fact. They aren't even twins in Stephen King's The Shining. Just sisters, 8 and 10 years old. But when Lisa and Louise Burns walked into the audition, it was Kubrick, of course it was Kubrick, who took one look at them and said, twins, it's gonna be twins. He was struck by their uncanniness because he has seen it before. And this is the image he has seen. The Wade twins, photographed by Diane Arbus in 1967. At first glance, it looks quite ordinary. Twin girls, same dresses, same hair, standing side by side. But look closer. The symmetry feels staged. And their faces don't quite match. One smiles, the other doesn't. Arbus caught the tension. How we try to see perfect sameness, but individuality always sneaks through the cracks. And that quiet unease became the blueprint for Kubrick's twins. So why did Kubrick make them twins? Because that chill from seeing two identical faces? Yeah, that's been around forever. We've been spinning twin stories for centuries. Mirror images with the power to create or destroy. Take Castor and Pollux from Greek mythology, for example. One mortal, one divine, trading places between life and death. Or Romulus and Remus, the legendary founders of Rome, born together but doomed to clash. Even in myth, twin stories never stay neat. They start in harmony and end in tension. Artists love that paradox too. How to paint two people who look alike yet aren't the same. Here's a painting that really leans into it. Uncanny, right? Two women lying side by side, dressed alike, each holding a baby in the same pose. The inscription on the painting even claims they were born, married, and gave birth on the same day. But when you zoom in, one's eyes are lighter, the other darker. And their other facial features are different too, as are the dresses. So, fraternal twins? Yeah, probably. So if we find this painting uncanny, I'm gonna say that's on us. because our modern eyes have been trained by centuries of eerie doubles. Still, I can't help thinking the artist was showing off a little, proving just how close you can get to perfect without actually repeating yourself. So when things really got dark was in the 19th century, when writers started obsessing over the idea of the double. You heard of the doppelganger, right? Literally means double walker. Gothic writers ran wild with it. A double who looks exactly like you, but isn't you, and acts on his own. Essentially a rival wearing your face. In Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, that double becomes the shadow self, the part we can't control. The fear isn't imitation, but replacement. What if your reflection moves first? Or worse, it takes over your life. Which brings us to mirrors, our daily little truth tellers. Familiar, reliable, and just a little too good at staring back. Most of us glance, fix the hair, and move on. But if you stare too long, things start to feel off. We expect movement, a blink, a shift, but the reflection just keeps staring. Our brains hate that kind of stillness. They start filling in gaps that aren't there. Sometimes the image even warps, a little optical trick called the Troxler effect. And suddenly, the face looking back feels wrong. It's the real-world version of the Uncanny, where the mirror shows everything correctly, except you. So it's no wonder identical twins became cinema's shortcut for unease. Two sides of one identity, yin and yang standing side by side. There's no science behind the good twin, evil twin trope, but their closeness and their insularity, and oh, I bet you heard of twins sharing telepathic thoughts. All of those things made them seem mysterious, maybe even threatening. And Kubrick knew this. Two matching faces can unsettle us faster than any ghost or monster, because they whisper that something's off, even when we can't explain why. Okay, fair enough, it's not always creepy. This is the other side of the twin coin. The pranksters, the tricksters, the let's swap places and save our family kind of twins. They may be mischievous, but totally harmless. I don't know about you, but I've never met identical twins in real life, so I can't say if that actually happens. Although my guess is that they'll roll their eyes if you asked. Either way, our fascination says more about us than about twins. And maybe that's the point. We're the ones who give twins their mystery, because we still trip over the idea that two people can look exactly alike and still be completely different. Twins aren't uncanny. We are.